just want what they want, and then it's too late. When I took the step, was I moved by lust? Was I moved by faith? The truth has a way of finding the light or changing in time. Did I fall in love? Did I make it up inside my mind?
Okay, getting the first pick. Oh, get 3, Pyro, get 3 with the
Blade Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to Overwatch Tranquility, where the season continues to dwindle down before our very eyes. Only 4 weeks left, and the cream has indeed separated from the rest of the crop as the top 8 teams remain of each tier, looking to battle it out tonight for their right to be called the Season 6 champions here in a couple of weeks. Tonight, here on the main stage of Tranquility, we'll be seeing Alpha versus Arcana Emperor in the Transcendence tier. Alpha has been shown to be the literal alpha of the Transcendence tier, but was shown to be grazed last week by the Arctic Foxes. So now we know that gods can indeed bleed, but will blood be shown by Arcana Emperor? Will the heavens open wide to release the entirety of Alpha's wrath upon them? Let's find out. My name's Captain Jack, and I'm your play-by-play for the evening, joined by K-Wing on analyst and Booth on production. K-Wing, glad to be back on the mic tonight because we have had a series of barn burners during these playoffs, and I feel like now that we're in the semifinals, we got essentially the best of the 24 teams that have participated in every single tier. We are going to see these teams. We're just getting started.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've only just seen the start of the barn burners. We still have so many barns to burn, and I think we're going to see a few wildfires tonight. I think definitely this is a match going into that, you have a favorite. Obviously, Alpha has been dominant. And I feel like that's just an understatement to call them dominant, just dominant. They've been godly, as you've put it. They just lost their first map to Arctic Foxes. First
Season. Map.
That's insane. That's just absolutely incredible.
Yep.
And it's going to take a good team to take them down. If they can. I don't know if Alpha can be taken down at this point. But I think if there's a team that's going to do it, Arcana Emperor is going to be a team that's looking to do it. But we're looking for our first map, Lijiang.
Well, before we go ahead and get started, I want to let you all know that we are keeping track of the rest of the teams that are playing tonight. It's going to be a little rough because we don't have someone on the desk to be able to culminate the scores, so we'll try to do our best. But here's the rest of the matches that are going on tonight. In the Harmony tier, we've got Jetpack Cats versus Gannicus, Koala Kings versus Flashbacks, and Valkyrie versus Firefight. If that surprises you, Doodles ended up having to forfeit due to not being able to participate in the rest of the tournament. So Valkyrie essentially got a freebie to be able to continue on, a resurrection, if you will, to be able to continue to fight their way up this playoffs bracket. In the Discord tier, we have Reckless Shockwave versus Q for Quarantine, Ragnarok versus Inferno Foxes, and Soul Cyberpunks versus Nya. We'll be seeing the final match between Aphelion and Joey Esports tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/OW Tranquility. Transcendence tier, we've got Dirt versus Ghostly Peppers, Godhand versus Tempest, and Heatwave versus Battalion. But right now we're heading into the control center, getting ready to get this locked down as we see the Symmetras already being utilized to get everybody into the objective as quickly as possible. The high ground Ore being held by the side of Alpha, but the high ground don't mean anything because Arcana Emperor is already on that high ground as the Doomfist comes in from Young Bands, trying to see if they can get that follow-up pick, but not going to be able to finalize it. The Immortality Field Ore going down for Riot, so not going to be able to utilize that as Leave trying to see if they can get that grenade damage in. Does find some like Young Band able to get the double kill that is going to secure the point for Arcana Emperor and push Alpha back for the moment.
Yeah, Young Band had so much patience there, waiting for the entirety of Alpha to walk through, and they're coming in again so fast on this regroup.
That is true. The Ant Matrix already invested as Leave does find Riot, and with that main healing out of there, it's just going to be a deletion here on the objective between Leave and O Canada. O Canada really being the carry for this team, as we have seen in their only feature match on that off tank, as we go ahead and see Alpha take control.
Absolutely, and now we're going to see a lot of ults invested from Arcana, but here comes just so many. There's 4 already.
Symmetras, these fights are going to be quick, fast, and dirty, and Osteo Panda able to find the first one as the Meteor Strike takes down that Immortality Field, and it is cleaning house once again for Arcana Emperor as they retake control at the 25% mark.
Thing is, that was such an expensive fight, though. That was 5 ults coming out of Arcana, and now you have 2, almost 3 on the side of Alpha.
All right, 40% and climbing right now as we see the teleporter coming out. Barrier now invested from Zodesign, trying to provide some positioning. The boop comes in from Bad Turtles, ends up sending Weapon out of position. The Shatter gets nothing but Zodesign. It doesn't matter. The beam is level 3 and is melting through them like butter as Alpha retakes control of the objective.
That was a flanking maneuver that would make Napoleon proud there. That was such good play there by Alpha, getting around behind Arcana there.
All right, with that rotation in place, it looks like Osteo Panda is looking to pull the reversal right here. Ant Matrix invested now from Heart as we see Arcana trying to push in. Gonna use the teleporter to get back to the safety of the objective, so the ultimate's kind of lost there as O Canada has that self-destruct online. Looking to invest, sending it on the ground. It's rotating in, and O Canada still finds Sworn Blade despite the beat being invested. Proz sending out that Ant Matrix, and the Meteor Strike comes in, getting that Immortality Field once again, but Leave is not going to leave alone the enemy team as the percentage continues to climb for Alpha. Arcana Emperor just continues to fall as they get sent one by one back to the spawn.
You really would have wanted to see a little bit of a faster breakaway. Now they have to come in pretty fast, but that's a big pick on the Heart. That's a huge pick.
Speed and aggression coming in as Heart gets caught out of position. Graviton Surge coming in from Dimitri, able to grab that triple kill as Proz Riot grabs a double of it all. Sworn Blade clearing O Canada of the objective in overtime. We will see Arcana Emperor retake control, but now they've got to hold it together for the next 40%.
And critically, they have 2 really bad ultimates coming in with the Shatter and as well the Amplification Matrix, and Leave is getting close to the Death Blossom. There's a lot coming their way, and they need to weather the storm.
That is true. Fire Strike coming in a little bit early there from Weapon. Not going to get the amp that they're looking for. They're trying to divide attention so the Shatter can come in huge, but Weapon gets nothing but shield. Not going to be able to invest in it like they had hoped. Amp Matrix coming in to keep a Sworn Blade in the fight. Immortality also invested to keep this main tank line in front. 99 to 99 as we approach that final fight territory, and Sworn Blade has a Shatter online, but no! Heart ends up jumping over the Shatter, trying to see if they can hold it all together. Leave coming out with the Blossom, but gets nothing but bubble and melted down by Dimitri. Overtime continues to tick away as Weapon swapping over to the ball, gets bumped out by Young Bands, but the remake gets both of them. Will it be enough? no, they will clear
No
that objective
way.
100 to 99 as Arcana Emperor locks down the control center. We've got quite a series on our hand there, K-Wing.
Absolutely, we do. This absolutely is going to be a barn burner if that first map is any indication. And Weapon and Ocanada, we see a big swap coming in from Alpha, going on to this more dive composition with some really interesting changes going on to the Tracer Sombra. I'm wondering if there's enough consistent damage there with the Tracer and the Sombra to get you. There's the Reaper pick to give you some more consistency. And they're just switching it up so much here. I'm interested to see how these compositions work up against each other. The Ryan Diva coming out from both sides. Simtal is going to take some early point presence.
All right, with the Symmetra teleporter in place, Osteopanda and the rest of Arcana Emperor able to get in position early, but the teleporter is going to be taken down now. But Arcana Emperor already set up on this objective. Zosign has got to be clicking heads, and they gotta come up fast, and Zosign does end up finding Praz there in the backline just around the shield. They have pushed Arcana Emperor off the objective as Dimitri lunges in, able to grab Wiglif there in the end, but Zosign is the only one left on the objective, getting chased down now by Dimitri, able to go ahead of Young Bands and ends up getting the D-Mech as well. But Osteopanda is just going to melt anyone and everyone in their way to be able to hold this together. Amp Matrix and Barrier coming out from either side as control is in favor of Alpha right now. They were able to grab it in the final moments before Arcana able to move back on this objective, but the fight is still going strong.
Zosign is just going crazy here. The High Noon going to come out just completely zoned out and actually still finds Young Bands. He held that so long and still found that pick. That's incredible. There comes the Amplification Matrix as well. And it's just so many ultimates coming out.
This fight is just going on too long, too much investment coming in, but as the trades continue to come in, that means they can just hold on to this objective longer as we see Young Bands coming back out on that Doomfist. Gonna go ahead and start cleaning things up at the 55% mark. We finally see Arcana Emperor take control.
They take control, but like you said, a lot of investment. Look at the ult percentages. Only one online right now for Alpha, but they're going to have two more or three coming in very quickly in this next fight. So this is going to be pretty scary for... It's going to be pretty scary for Arcana. And now Leave is on this Pharah. There's not a lot of hit scan for Arcana to use to take care of it, especially with that Mercy.
All right, 30% and climbing right now as Alpha looking for the rotation here on the outside. Amp Matrix being invested by Heart to try to create some space as we see the barrier coming in once again, but Canada doesn't give the message to Fat Turtles to move on the other side of the barrier at the final moments. But we see Leave trying to hold it all together now on this Pharah, trying to rain Hellfire down from above on the outside of the objective. Zosign with the Deadeye almost ends up finding Fat Turtles, but the turtle is not fat enough. And here comes Young Bands in that backline, trying to get the slam. Does find Heart as the tackle comes in onto Zosign. The percentage continues to tick up as Alpha continues to head back to spawn once again.
Yeah, Arcana was just able to stick that out with a pretty good ult by Fat Turtles and keeping it there, as well as charging up some pretty crucial ultimates. Now, the shoe's on the other foot. Alpha is going to have to struggle against a lot of ults from Arcana. We're talking 4 coming into this next fight, and this is the last fight territory for Alpha.
All right, Arcana Emperor pushing in, trying to keep them away from this objective with the aggression of that Amp Matrix. Now we're seeing it come out. The barrage coming in does find Young Bands as the shield goes down. Swornblade sacrificing themselves to take Weapon out of the fight, and the picks just continue to come in. Wiglif able to find the res, and that's going to allow Zosign to be back on this objective, clicking heads once again. But Frost Riot not going to allow them to hold on to this objective for long, taking out both the DPS as that main support, as that amped up Soldier 76 on that BAF. Young Bands coming in looking to see if they can get those tanks off this objective as quickly as possible. The Fire Strike takes down Weapon, and Heart is out of the fight as well. The feed continues to come in, but we are going to see that Alpha does continue to bleed here because they are hemorrhaging as they are trying to hold on to this objective. Oh, Canada, the only one left to be on this objective. Zosign trying to trade it out, but they can't hold on. Arcana Emperor is holding on to this objective, takes Lijiang Tower, and shows that gods still indeed do bleed.
Absolutely. Alpha here, they've got to be quaking in their boots already, as both of these maps were close, but Arcana Emperor just showed that they had the power to clutch it out in crazy moments like this for Swarmblade, and just being able, just having this ability to, even when the fight seems against them, even when the ults are stacked in favor of Alpha, they have that power and they have that ability to clutch out, which is the most important thing you can have in Overwatch, is that X factor, is that clutch factor that you can't really analyze. You just have to have it.
Yeah, cheeks were indeed clenched on either side right here, but Arcana Emperor does pop off very bigly right here on Lijiang Tower. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at our other matches to see what has come in thus far. Currently in the Harmony tier, Jetpack Cats currently 1-0. Also speed running Nepal against Ganica, taking that I believe no, it's 1-0 because they won the map. They didn't give us the actual scores there. So I'm guessing it was 2-0 as well, because the scores coming in are definitely quick. They look to be all 2-0s right here. In the Transcendence tier, we have from Battalion versus Heatwave. Battalion locking down Elios 2-0. And in Tempest versus Godhand, Godhand takes an early lead, locking down Lijiang in very similar fashion to what we see from Arcana Emperor 2-0 as well. Most recent update, Q for Quarantine versus Reckless Shockwave, as we see 2-1 going in favor of Q for Quarantine in the Discord tier, and it looks like we're getting ready to get an update there from the flashbacks match very quickly as well. So I gotta tell you, I know that I've been getting some heat in the chat because apparently I said that we have got a really hot match on our hands, and it was only the first map. But I tell you, this is always a good sign when you see those 99 to 100s. When you are already battling out and the matches are so close already on Control, I mean, you're locked in. This is going to be an amazing fight.
Yeah, we just got the update of Dirt versus GP. The score going 0-1. GP having the lead, taking it 2-1 on Lijiang. And then, of course, Flashbacks versus Koala Kings. Flashbacks in the lead, taking Nepal 2-1.
All right, that's going to be locking down some really good scores, but let's talk about that positioning there from Arcana Emperor. Both times going straight onto the objective. Second time didn't work out so well on Gardens. They ended up having to pull off just because of the immense damage dealt, and actually ended up giving a lot away to Alpha. They never ended up resetting and gave upwards of 60% to Alpha, but I mean, surprisingly, once they locked down that objective, Alpha was no longer allowed to swap that back in their favor. I don't know, K-Wing. It seems that Arcana Emperor, as we have been told by Mr. Yeti and some of the podcast members for the previous weeks, it looks like we may have been sleeping on them a little bit too hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Arcana has definitely shown that they can take this fight to Alpha. And like you said, they made that mistake of overcommitting on that first fight of second point. But once they got the point back, that point was on lockdown the entire time for the rest of the round. No one from Alpha was going to get near that point without a right well good seeing too from the members of Arcana. And now we're going to see if Arcana can lock down the points on Volskaya.
That is true. Want to remind you all that we are doing giveaways all the time. You can get your points here, get those drink bucks, earn them up. But special for our Season 6 playoffs, you may have noticed some people are putting exclamation points in the chat. All these points are being tracked by the wonderful offline NPC bot, and those entries that you are getting every 10 minutes of watching any broadcast here on the Tranquility channel will put you in for one of three or all three, depending on how good your luck is, $100 Amazon gift card. So if you haven't been watching, you're already behind the curve, because some folks like myself are already above 100 entries. That is how much you can get essentially in a week of watching the broadcast here at Overwatch Tranquility. So if you don't want to miss any of that action, be sure to hit that heart, punch that bell so you get notified every time we're online. You can also hit that sub button, $4.99 or a Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime sub. Gives you access to some amazing community-made emotes, as well as support our amazing community. Now here on Volskaya Industries, look like we're getting ready to rush this objective.
Absolutely, a complete mirror from both teams now. Interesting position here from Alpha. They're just positioned right in this corridor. So you're going to have to see what Maywalls can beat best here. That's a pretty good Maywall coming out from the members of Arcana.
All right. Pushing in Arcana Emperor, using the left side rotation, trying to see if they can zone it out. They're waiting for that speed boost to be able to push their way through, but Alpha is not allowing any of it. The Shatter comes out, gets nothing but shield, but the Amp Matrix doesn't matter. It's gonna tear through you like a hot knife through a butter right now. But no, Canada is in the backline, super powered and melting down. Legendary and Dimitri is next to follow, but first take already on that objective. Where is Arcana Emperor right now, and why isn't someone continuing to lock down this point?
They really wanted to take down this Zarya, and I don't think they're going to get a full recontest Alpha, but they have to be careful with that. Dimitri going to remech, not going to try and go for one of those cheeky sneaky flank remech kills we've seen so much of. But Swornblade charged that Shatter so fast. They charged it to 100% in about 40 seconds.
That is true, but Weapon also has theirs online, as well as a Deadeye and Graviton Surge coming in. The high ground rotation on the left side coming out from Arcana. The Shatter comes in. It is bad, and Weapon is locked in the side room with Arcana swinging away, showing that they are indeed the Alpha Dog.
Alpha, that was such a good rotation from Arcana, but they made a similar mistake to what Alpha did on that first point. They just pushed themselves into a small corridor, and Weapon used that as an opportunity to swing for the fences, and he hit a home run.
All right, Arcana looking to move in once again. The ultimates now evened up 4-4 right here. Blizzard's Deadeye, oh my, locked down right now, but it's all about the investment. Deadeye used from Slapboy to zone out this objective, but Alpha not gonna see 9 at this time around, but Leave pays for it, doesn't drop with the tanks at the right time, and the Blizzard and Beat getting invested. Now the Amp Matrix out from a legendary Zosine, tries to get it, tries to lock it down with that Deadeye, but gets deleted. The Shatter comes out in celebration with 4 minutes 9 seconds on the clock. Arcana is not done scratching up these guys.
Absolutely, that was a dominant attack on Volskaya. It seemed like it only stopped just for only one attack there, and that's just a sign of a very good team.
All right, moving in once again as we wait for the heroes scene to unlock to see what is going to come out from Arcana Emperor this time around. Now, Volskaya has that dirty little name Drawskaya for a reason, because the speed run isn't usually one-sided here. It is very much in favor of the attackers for this first objective. And K-Wing, I feel like Alpha, if they're off their game tonight, this is going to be a good way to turn this around in their favor.
It could be, but if like you said, Alpha's off their game tonight and if they can't get things going right now, they're going to get even further out of it. They're going to be even further in the hole now, as we see it pretty much is the same mirror, but we have a May on the side of Alpha versus a McCree, which is basically going to show you how they want to play. You have Arcana trying to play the high ground. There's not a lot of people on the side of Alpha that can really contest that.
Yeah, it's really going to be the battle of the flex DPS. Zosine on that May, going to be providing CC for days, but Slapboy on that Doomfist was showing to be just as deadly as we saw from Osteo Panda, and it looks like they're able to get a little bit of value, but that immortality not going to allow them to follow that up. Oh, Canada and Leave, though, gonna start clicking and melting heads as Dimitri getting zoned out by Zosine. Not gonna allow that to happen. Grabs the triple kill, melting down in return, showing, oh, Canada, you're not the only powerful Zarya on this field.
That was a lot there, and I really do think Canada's switching to the Zarya, saying that they won't be outdone. So now, even closer to that mirror, as Osteo Panda has to take advantage of this. Now we have Slapboy's on the Doomfist, and he's been doing really well at drawing out and harassing these healers of Alpha.
That is true. As long as they can be picking off of that back line, it is going to work out very well in their favor. The Doomfist comes in and Slapboy finds Leave. They will be leaving back to spawn, and Osteo Panda is on the opposite flank, coming in with that Deadeye. Does find weapon, melts the shield down like it is construction paper in a toddler's hands. And that is going to be it. Once again, the Graviton Surge just to bully, just to lock down this objective and make sure everyone goes back to spawn where they belong.
I did like that Graviton. It was starting to turn around. You saw the pick coming out from Wigloff, and that Graviton Surge sealed it up there, making sure that everyone was, like you said, back in spawn where they belong. And now this is going to be an ult fiesta, and it's going to be up to Alpha to win this fight without using all their ults. They cannot just come in and use all 5 ults, because they'll have nothing for their point B attack, and you need ults to attack point B.
That is true, but Alpha so far has been showing that may not necessarily be the case. Meteor Strike coming in from Slapboy finds Leave in the chaos, and the Blizzard invested from Zosine tries to clean it up. Canada melting down the fist so that they can use it for the edge of their cannon. Ends up taking down Pros Riot as well, but it's not going to be enough for them to lock this down. The stagger coming in onto Wiglif, but they will take Osteo Panda in the end with 60 seconds on the clock, and Riot back in spawn. That is going to allow them to get back in enough time, unless Alpha attacks now.
That they're going to be. I really wish Wigloff would have died a little bit faster there. I think he needed to just die at that point and not try and get out, because now he will take a little bit longer to get back into spawn. And now really passive play coming in until Arcana know that they can come in and get something like that onto Wigloff.
Arcana is not joking around, folks. They are not going to give them an inch, not going to give Alpha a mile, and they are showing that, okay, you have gotten away all season with this easy day run. You have no idea what you are up against now as they try to push their way back in. The Ant Matrix is down, but there's a lot of ultimates still on the field. The speed boosted Deadeye makes its way around the corner, finds Riot as a Shatter comes in, gets nothing on the stairs, but the rotation is huge as we see the heads being clicked. The trades are coming in, but it looks like Alpha is locking it down for now. Oh, Canada trying to support the team and trying to keep everyone from being melted. They will go ahead and finally grab Objective Alpha in overtime, but they are already a minute down going into Objective Bravo.
Absolutely, and now looking at this more, you have a lot of ults coming in for Alpha into this next fight compared to not many for Arcana. They only have this beat above 50%, and there's only a few ults for Alpha not above 50%. And here comes that Graviton.
Huge Graviton surge coming in from Canada, but they forgot about that immortality field. It does, even though it was nerfed, it does still keep you alive unless you take it down, and that allowed Arcana to swing right on back. The clap right there, the clapper coming in for Arcana Emperor as they lock down the objective once again.
Yeah, it wasn't really the greatest place to grab that team because there's, like you said, a really easy place to put that immortality field so that you can just have it absorb all that damage that would be fatal to Arcana is now just a little bit of an annoyance, and oh, Swornblade gets the Fire Strike amped kill.
That's right, able to get that follow-up after Slapboy went in with the triple boop into the air, able to do a heck of a ton of damage. A minute 40 remaining on the clock right now as we go ahead and see Alpha, like the puppies they are right now, walking back with their tail between their legs, looking to see if they can find the competence to take this objective away.
Now they have these 5 ults, but they're almost mirrored on the side of Arcana. They have 3, so the ult efficiency isn't as much as it was last fight, but that is still there. They need to find something big from these ultimates.
All right, moving in once again. Alpha trying to zone out with the Deadeye, similar to what we saw from Panda, but the Deadeye from Panda is bigger. Wiglif falls, but Zosine does find Swornblade with the help of that Am Matrix. Meteor Strike coming into the grab of Dimitri, and Slatboy cleaning it up. The DPS have got this point on lock as we head into final fight territory.
That's true. Even if at this point Alpha captures this second point, you'll have 4 minutes for Arcana to take just one tick of point A. It's so unlikely that Alpha is going to take this with time that it's just a dominant performance on attack A has fueled this performance into this round 2.
My weebness on not knowing that it's Ocedo Panda is not slowing down the damage that this McCree is putting out. Slapboy coming into the objective, finds Heart on that high ground, but Weapon does get the trade. The trades are actually coming in huge as Canada trying to keep themselves alive, sends the Graviton at their feet to keep the respawns from coming in, and in overtime, they will end up taking Objective Bravo. But with 4 minutes, 9 seconds on the clock to defend Objective Alpha for 1 tick, I don't think Alpha has it in the bank to do it, but they're more than welcome to prove me wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they need to really quickly learn from the mistake that they made on Objective A in round 1 and adjust to it, because in round 1 they positioned themselves all in that little cubby in that little side hallway to the left, and Swornblade was just able to walk into them and swing his hammer from side to side like it was his birthright, and he was able to charge up his ultimate incredibly fast. He did end up using it and not getting any stuns, but he was able to get that damage in and able to make so much of an impact on the team and drain their resources, and they cannot repeat that.
That is absolutely true, and now it is going to be up to Alpha to put the kibosh on this attack. They have got to stop it in its tracks right here, right now, because they have multiple series of fights that they have to do to lock this down and keep Arcana Emperor from taking it 2-0.
They're going to roll in over on the right side. Alpha is holding very similar to how Arcana were holding, with very similar compositions. They're going to send this Doomfist down to try and contest and get one of those early picks, like onto the Baptiste or onto the Lucio, onto one of those immobile heroes that can't really escape. We'll have to see if Leaf can get something going. Going to have to immediately escape though, and that's a big pick.
Already legendary indeed pops off a legendary as they take down Weapon. Leave trying to find their way into that objective, but there's only one tick to be had. It's gotta be a Deadeye and it's gotta come up huge, but it gets nothing. The rotation comes in too quick and Dimitri is gonna say a how's ya father there on the high ground as the objective goes to Arcana Emperor. That is 2-0 as they lock down Volskaya Industries, really showing that Alpha has just had a very easy run in the playoffs until now.
It's definitely looking like that. You've just seen Alpha, this team that we thought was godly, that we thought was dominant, all the adjectives you can use to describe a team to be absolute, to just be leagues above of their competition. We have seen Arcana Emperor come in and they have dethroned these kings for these first two maps. That's not to say that Alpha cannot come back when pushed, when their back is against the wall. We haven't seen it, of course, since they haven't lost a map since against Arctic Foxes last week. But still, Alpha needs to, if they want to prove that they are here because they are skilled and that they are really, really good, like we have seen them be before, we need to see them find the Alpha that we saw before, the Alpha that played against Arctic Foxes, the Alpha that played in the regular season, because either they're not here or they're not as good as we thought they were.
That is absolutely true. Some score updates coming in from the Harmony and Discord tiers. Starting off in Discord, we have Nya versus Soul Cyberpunks, currently up 1-0 after their map on Nepal ended with a score of 2-1. Ragnarok versus Inferno Foxes. Inferno Foxes taking the first map off of Ragnarok. Ragnarok, folks, who has essentially been pulling a similar run to Alpha in the Discord tier, has been shown that these Norse behemoths can also bleed. Ended up taking that on Lijiang 2-0. And Q for Quarantine versus Reckless Shockwave do indeed get the Draw Skya curse, as both teams are locked out on Objective Alpha. Objective Alpha, not a tick to be had. Score 0-0 at the end of the day. Jetpack Cats versus Ganakits in the Harmony tier. We will see JPC take Temple of Anubis for this next map against Ganakis 3-2. And Flashbacks versus Koala Kings. Flashbacks lock down Hanamura 2-1. K-Wing, what do we see in the Transcendence tier?
Yeah, absolutely. Between Battalion and Heatwave, Battalion are taking it to Temple 4-3. Pretty close against Heatwave. We're going to go up 2-0. And between Dirt and GP, we have another 2-0 as GP leads against Dirt, taking Hanamura 3-2.
Yeah, Ghostly Peppers are indeed spicing up the competition right there in the in the Transcendence tier, showing, okay, we had kind of a lax stage 2 dirt, but we're not that bad. You're not gonna be pulling one over on us that easily. But Battalion trying to end the victory run from Heatwave right now. Battalion also ended up getting hurt earlier on in the season, so they ended up getting seeded a little bit lower than they probably would have liked coming into this. But these two behemoths in the Transcendence tier are showing that they are going to put up quite a fight. But right now, coming back to the match at hand, wow. Osito Panda and Slapboy on Arcana Emperor has just been demolishing Alpha. They don't know what to do about these two DPS because they are just so quickly playing off of one another. As soon as Slapboy serves them up with the uppercut 2-3 at a time, you see Osito just click, boom, all the heads going down, or Dimitri melting them before they can even touch the ground on that Zarya or Diva. It just seems that no matter what Alpha does right now, it just doesn't seem to be working in this matchup of the Rush v Rush, which we've been seeing actually all the way across the Overwatch bracket. We've been seeing it in Contenders this week. We've been seeing it in Overwatch League as well. This Doomfist Rush versus the regular Rush. And if you got a Doomfist that can pop off incredibly well, they are going to lock that down 9 times out of 10 if they are not punished.
Definitely, and that's what we've seen. We've seen this Doomfist come in and get those picks against your supports, especially that Baptiste, who takes a little, does have that movement ability, but critically different from, say, a Lucio or even an Ana or a Mercy. It needs to be charged up. You need to take time to charge up those exo boots, and you don't move as fast, so you're not going to be charging them up constantly. Mercy's Guardian Angel is on a really quick cooldown, and Lucio's Wall Ride is on a very, very short cooldown, if really you count it at all.
I was about to say, I think it's just passive. But how nuts would it be if wall riding was on a cooldown? Whoa. Talk about changing the game. Next April Fool's patch there, a Blizzard, Uncle Aaron, go ahead and get that on the lock for us. But it looks like Arcana, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to be coming out with that against this double bubble. Whoa! Zosine and Leave melting the backline before they even get past the bus.
Leave and Zosine just said that you are not allowed to push here. I do not agree with this push, and then shut it down.
They are not allowing anything to be out of their sight this time around. Numbani, as you know, is the dive version of King's Row, essentially trying to, has a lot of high ground space to be able to utilize, but right now, Arcana trying to take advantage of that position, Osito, so that they can find the value that they're looking for, but Leave just is not getting poked out right now. There's nothing that seems to be able for them to do, but with the amp, they do find Wiglif. That's going to be enough for them to lock this down quickly unless they start getting punished. Osito does find Leave in that high ground, in that air, and the picks just continue to come in with the Mercy, not able to pocket, not able to res. We are going to see the lockdown come once again from Arcana saying, okay, you caught us a little bit off guard, but we're not done yet.
Yeah, Arcana said, all right, Leave and Zosine, you had your fun. Now it's time for the big boys to come in. And Osteo Panda and Slatboy are ready to come. Oh my gosh, Osteo Panda is just not ready to let Leave play the game, and Wigloff will fall shortly after.
Yeah, Osido is indeed forcing Alpha to sit down right now. They are not going to allow them to gain any momentum on this objective. There's 3 on the high ground, 3 on that objective, pushing it as fast as they possibly can. But with them being on that high ground, they will be able to object very easily. But the ultimate advantage coming in for Alpha may shut down this objective here at point B.
This could be massive. Here comes the copy. Weave going onto the Doomfist. A risky choice. Prods. It is taken down.
Indeed, as Dimitri gets slammed, so does Leave, but Leave gets the trade, saying, you take away my Doomfist, okay, I'll melt you the old-fashioned way on that Echo with that double beam kill. The rest of the objective gets taken by Alpha as they lock it down at the 85-meter mark.
That is true, but now there's a lot of ultimates on the side of Arcana compared to only 2 on the side of Alpha. You have some combos as well. You have what's commonly referred to as Space Jam, that Graviton and Doomfist ult, as well as that Shatter and an Amplification Matrix. You have the combos for victory here. Double grabs coming in already. There goes Dimitri.
Yeah, not a great way to start that out. Didn't have the healing to be able to sustain right there, and thought that they were going to be alone, but ended up getting joined by Weapon on that high ground, and that barrier provided a lot of space for them to continue to move. It looks like Dimitri not going to be battling out in that Zarya v Zarya again as they swap on over to the D.Va for this next fight.
Yeah, and now that ult advantage has all but evaporated for Arcana, as now you have 4 ults coming online, but you have about the same for Alpha. We'll just have to see who used them better. Oh, we just get to immediately shatter, and that's just disgusting.
Oh, that is indeed disgusting. You see the duplicate sent out and taken down by the shatter of Sworn Blade, but the heads are going to be clicked by Dimitri and Zosine, taking out each other's Bob as the beat is invested by Pros Riot. That payload moving its way in as Wiglif does bring Canada back into the action. They got to keep Sworn Blade alive, but there's not enough for them to lock it down. 2.5 meters remain as we see Arcana moving back to the objective spot.
Art is on this high ground, and if they're out of the line of sight of their enemies, it's just so hard for the members of Arcana to touch Heart on this high ground, and that's what kept Weapon alive for that contest. It was hard on that high ground, hitting those shots and healing up Weapon to keep them alive while they waited for the respawns to come in. So now you see Arcana switching to the dive, but they are so down on ultimates, almost 5 for Alpha, and nearly close to 1 for Arcana.
All right, Arcana having to move back in, and they gotta move in, and now the Nano gets invested onto Weapon as the Graviton finds the backline, trying to take out that Mercy and Ashe, but it's not gonna be enough, or is it? Right now, Canada finds Legendary in the end as the objective continues to be cleaned up. It looks like Alpha, backed into the corner, is now showing their fang.
That they are, and now you have now Arcana is back into this corner. They have won a fight. They have the ults to do it. They need this fight to go long though, so that they can charge up those ultimates that are at 80, that are at 60%, and or they could just get 2 picks early like this, but Weapon is not ready to let this go.
Oh no! In the backline, Heart not paying attention. Right there is Sworn Blade with that Primal, just knocks him right up beside the head. Slapboy gets domed by Zosine. It's Legendary in the Mercy v Mercy, ends up taking down Wiglif in overtime. We will see Arcana take objective 2, but they're going to be locked down with a very small time bank compared to what they moved into that objective with.
That was a legendary hold, no pun intended, from Alpha, as they just absolutely took a crazy time bank from Arcana and reduced it to ashes. Now they're on the high ground, and this is a hard point to fight against, and now Arcana has switched back to the rush. Oh.
All right, the rush is back on, and Leave is like, okay, I can rush this, but gets melted. Again, third duplicate gets taken out and not going to be able to earn up that ultimate. Graviton Surge coming in, and now Swornblade gets to swing for the stars. Batter up right now, but is not going to get the value that they are looking for as Leave just melts them in return. Weapon chasing down the backline, and with only less than 30 seconds remaining, they'll have one last play to push the cart as far as they can get it.
Arcana is trying to keep them off, and any picks that come in early can be deadly. Now, you need a quick fight if you're Arcana, because those are a lot. Both tank ults are coming up very fast for the members of Alpha. Here they are. Here comes the bob and the grab.
The peel is not in the backline as Arcana and Weapon are just letting loose in that backline. The Primal Rage comes out after the Nano's invested, grabs the double kill, and the tanks are the only ones that are left from Arcana to hold on to this objective. They just got to push it in as far as they can get it, and it looks like that payload is going to be locked at 56 meters. But heck, for the amount of time that they were given, they at least got it really close to that final objective.
Weapon absolutely just redefining the idea of a lethal weapon, just demolishing Arcana from the back, and I think we might have seen the beast is starting to wake up here, Captain Jack, and Arcana, they've got to keep this. They've got to one up Alpha, and we got to see if they can at this point, because this is scary.
Start spamming your wake up memes there. Alpha just been sleeping up to this point, trying to make it seem like Arcana has a chance at all. But honestly, this map is just better for certain types of composition. Arcana really trying to push this rush to try to see if they can lock this down. They're going to move over to the double bubble as well, with Slapboy still on that Doomfist, but with Swornblade and Slapboy both diving in at the same time, Dimitri can only send the bubble onto one. So Slapboy more than likely is going to get that bubble love. So Swornblade is going to have to be careful against this composition.
I think critically, Zosan and Leave are on the Ashen Echo. Slapboy had a lot of trouble with the McCree. That's why very frequently he needed that bubble, was to deal with that flashbang and be able to keep out. So now Slapboy does have to play a bit more passive, even in general. Here comes the dive from Weapon into the backline as Swarmblade gets flanked around, almost gets taken down there.
I told you, the bubble can only go on to one, and if Swornblade's not careful, Osito does find Zosign, though, saying, nope, not gonna allow it. You tried to punish my monkey. I'm gonna send you back to the zoo because I am the lion tamer of this objective, but the res does come in. Swornblade on that high ground, working with Slapboy to force them back into the side room, and they have wasted already a minute off that time bank.
I feel like Hart has just been the tragedy of this entire match so far, as they've been getting such incredible anti-nades in kind of garbage time, when the fight is already over. Here comes the Nano onto Swornblade, and that body block from Weapon was incredible.
That is unfortunate right there, having to pop the Primal just to be able to get away, but still gets melted down by Leave. What a sandwich between the two tanks of Alpha, and with a minute and a half off the clock, it doesn't look like Alpha is worried right now, as Osito almost getting clicked, does get clicked as the health comes in for Leave at the final moments. We see the team getting separated out now, trying to feed into this objective to shave off as much time as they possibly can, but there's nothing that can be done. Swornblade gets melted down, and with 4.5 minutes, that payload takes to the streets.
I just want to echo, why is Heart cursed with these anti-nades that are massive, but never at a point where the fight is in any contention? It's always in like a 3v6 that Heart will just land a gigantic anti-nade onto 3 people. It's so sad because you know that that's difficult to do, but it's just, you can't really make a lot of use off of it.
That's true, and that's the hard part about positioning, right? There's not a lot that you can do, and we're seeing the rotation over to the rush once again. Slapboy now on the Tracer, looking to see if they can pick and bully that backline as the Graviton comes in. Immortality holding it together. Leave gets sent off of the high ground once again. You duplicate the Rhine, you get the good as well as the bad, and the Rhine sends them off. Swornblade with that hammer, booping them off of that high ground with the help of Pros Riot. They're going to be able to clean up this objective. They don't get punished in the grab. They don't get punished there on the high ground, and they're going to be able to lock this down once again.
It was such a gigantic ultimate investment from Alpha. They had 5 ults coming into this, and they have 1 coming out of it. And Arcana had almost none coming into it because they swapped up compositions. They seem to be a lot more comfortable on this rush, and it shows.
Right, the push coming back in once again. Immortality having to be wasted early, and Canada still finds Legendary, not able to get the healing in time. The Immortality doesn't help you like before. You gotta get that healing in before it goes down. And Ocido going down as well, but Heart gets taken out of the Alpha backline, but the res comes in, and it doesn't seem like there's anything that Arcana Emperor can do to stop the hemorrhaging right now. Alpha has shown their teeth. They are sinking it in deep, and now they've got 4 minutes to take this objective.
Going to be really important here for Arcana if they want to keep holding, that they win this fight, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, that they win this fight without all of their ultimates. Here comes the Bob from Zosine. Asya Panda again going to use this ult. Oh boy. Oh no.
Flapboy throwing out the pulse bomb in the backline. Leave opting to duplicate the Tracer, coming out with the pulse bomb, and ends up getting the finalization melt onto a Legendary, and the picks just continue to come in. There's nothing that Arcana can do, and Alpha gets themselves on the board, but they're still behind. Arcana Emperor still up 2-1 in this series after Numbani.
Play of the game.
Wow, this is going to be a good, this has been such a good matchup. We aren't going to see, I really didn't want to see Alpha come in that sort of overly hubris style of just, we're number 1, we're going to beat you no matter what. I didn't want to see them get 4-0'd because that's kind of a boring story, but now we've got an interesting one as Arcana takes 2 maps, but Alpha's got all the momentum going into halftime.
Yeah, Arcana Emperor, I don't know if you've got any parents on your team, but just like in Lazy Town, Robbie Rotten only has the upper hand until Sporticus comes in and saves the day, and Alpha right now has gotten their fruit and are charged up, ready to take it here in the second half. But as we get ready to send it to a break, that's going to be the question, right? With 10 minutes on the clock right now for this break time, Alpha's momentum could be slowed as quickly as it started. It could give Arcana another foothold going into the second half. But before we do that, we got some updates for you all coming in from the Discord tier. We have Nya versus Soul Cyberpunks 2-0 as Nya takes it 2-1 on Temple of Anubis. Ragnarok versus Inferno Foxes. Inferno Foxes again making the gods bleed, looking to send Ragnarok to Valhalla after such an amazing season. Take Hanamura 2-1 as well. Q for Quarantine showing that number means nothing. Reckless Shockwave may be in second, but they are the ones that are up 2-0 after their map on Hollywood coming out 3-2 after that most recent tie that they had. And Jetpack Cats versus Gannicus also getting the Bard treatment in the Harmony tier, tying it up 3-3 on Kings Row versus Gannicus, but still up 2-0 in the series.
Absolutely, and between Tempest and Godhand, we had some really quick map finishes. They went from 0-1 for Godhand to 2-1 for Godhand, finishing Hanamura 2-1 for Godhand, and Kings Row 3-2 for Tempest. Between Dirt and Ghostly Peppers, Dirt taking it currently 2-1 for Dirt, as Kings Row finishing it 2-1 for them as well. So pretty interesting games all around, some spicy matches, and not just the ones involving Ghostly Peppers.
That is true. The barns are starting to get a little toasty. You better go grab some water. I know I'm going to be, and invite some more people over. I've seen y'all popping off there in the chat. If you're watching these other matches during the halftime, let us know your feedback. Unfortunately, we're not able to see those matches, so we don't know how close these are coming other than the scores. So give us your feedback on those matches if you're watching them. We'll be back with more of this amazing Transcendence tier match here on Overwatch Tranquility in a few moments. Welcome back, everyone, to Overwatch Tranquility, where we have got, oh man, I tell you, it's getting hot in here. I needed an extra minute or two to douse myself with some cool water. Nothing on the OnlyFans this time around, folks, so don't be worrying about that. But here on the stream, we have got Alpha versus Arcana Emperor going on right now. Arcana currently up 2-1 versus Alpha, and we're going to give you some additional quick updates before we head into our next map. It's Junkertown! Yeah! Oh, gosh. Oh, whew, okay. Oh, man. Gotta get that taken care of. All right. So, looking at the updates right here, it looks like we have in the Discord tier Nya versus Soul Cyberpunk's. Nya taking another map off of Soul Cyberpunk's. Kings Row 3-2 in their favor. Going to the Harmony tier in the Firefight versus Valkyrie match. Valkyrie drawing blood on Firefight. Takes a map off of them, but ends up Firefight still in the lead right now after Kings Row, and your apology, Drew, is very welcome because we were wondering what y'all were doing. But they are currently up 2-1 against Valkyrie. And then in the Flashbacks versus Koala Kings match, it looks like we missed out on a map because Flashbacks has got it up 2-1 after a round 3 and 4 on Kings Row, ending in a 5-4 in the Transcendence tier. We have an update for Battalion versus Heatwave, where we see Heatwave finally drawing some blood as well. The blood is being spilled tonight, folks, as we see them take Kings Row 4-3. It looks like a lot of love on Kings Row this time around, but not on the mainstream. So thank you so very much, Alpha, for not making me endure that just yet. But that doesn't mean that the party is over. We could end up seeing it later as we make our way into Junkertown.
Absolutely. And we do have actually another update coming in from Q from Quarantine. Q for Quarantine versus Reckless Shockwave. 2-1 for Q for Quarantine. I'm struggling with that name a little bit, like I have been with Arcana.
No worries.
We've been doing that the entire time. It's whatever. They took Route 66 3-2. In Tempest versus God Hand 1-3 now for God Hand, going to take Junkertown at 3-1.
Oh, Tempest is on the edge. They have fought so hard, so long to get here, and it looks like God Hand has turned up the heat right now. And for that Discord match, Reckless Shockwave getting that first victory on Route 66 for that 2-1 right there. So holy goodness gracious, great balls of fire, folks. We are back in it here on Junkertown, and it looks like the meta has changed once again because we're going into the Sigma Ball.
Absolutely. The Sigma Ball is a really interesting combination, and it's a combination that I have kind of learned to accept. It's a very interesting combination, and we see some different support lines coming out from both of these teams. We have Fat Turtles on the Brig versus Wiglaf on the Mercy, so two different support choices coming in here, and the Widows start peeking around trying to find each other.
That's right, the hook shots coming out from Leave and Osito Panda, but nobody clicking ahead just yet. Discord on Sworn Blade, but not going to get the attention that they deserve. The click, oh, just barely missing the head there for Osito. Doesn't matter if Leave is power boosted, that head gets clicked just as easily. Oh, Canada, though, getting punished in that backline, went in a little too low as we see the Rock coming out, ends up a missing weapon, but they will still get deleted nonetheless. Does find Osito there in the back line, but with their tanks down, it's going to be very difficult for them to hold here on Objective Alpha.
Oh, Canada does find a pick onto their copy, their doppelganger in Sworn Blade, but I think Alpha is coming back here and still just popping off. Leave and Zosine are just all of these DPSs have been playing out of their minds thus far.
That is true. Able to bring it back from the edge. Only 2 meters remaining on that objective, and the DPS able to lock down those picks to send Arcana back to spawn once again. It looks like we do see a swap here for weapon over to the Winston to try to see if they can dive that backline a little heavier, but Fat Turtles is there to protect that Zenyatta, and Slapboy sends Canada back with a good old explosive package of the Pulse Bomb. Osito finding the head of Levi, and the cleanup is huge right now. Transcendence and a Minefield and Gravitic Flux, everything coming out but the kitchen sink for the side of Arcana, and it doesn't look like they're too worried. They've used up just about all of their ultimates, but they got a big one sitting in the pocket for this next fight.
They do have the Transcendence, like you mentioned, and I'm not too worried for them. Their tank ults are behind, so in a few fights that might be a problem, but for right now, they're up on the Tracer ult charge, and their support charge is a bit better, so it's going to be a matter of who performs better in these next few fights. But right now, they do have the advantage as this dive comes in.
All right, the dive comes in onto the objective. Slam gets 3 for Canada as Zosine falls down to half. Gonna have to retreat for that healing. Osito getting clicked a little bit right there, but Canada and Slapboy get the trade. Transcendence being popped out by pros as the DPS of Arcana just lock down this objective. Canada, though, sends Slapboy packing back into the spawn with that Minefield. Tracer blinking right into that active mine, and the cleanup on the high ground is going to work out in Alpha's favor. They're trying to retreat, trying to see if they can get back. Dimitri falling down to half, but Zosine and Weapon just locked down that pick, staggering out the Sigma.
That was a chase for the ages on the Sigma. It felt like Indiana Jones running from that stone as Canada bore down on Dimitri. Now switching over to the Diva.
Dimitri on that Diva is going to be able to counter dive similar to what we've seen, but leave clicking Slapboy's head to start things off, and they don't have the res. Pulse Bomb going into the side room, ends up landing on Dimitri, but gets Pro's Riot instead. The clicks continue to come in as Weapon does end up falling amidst the chaos, but the spawn advantage is in their favor, and they'll be able to get back just in time.
Yeah, and Weave now uses this infrasight to spot out where they're coming from, where the members of to spot out where Arcana's coming from, and Canada uses it to slam into them and find that early pick.
That is true. That's going to go ahead and get a little bit of a stagger from the spawn, and Canada is looking to camp out that spawn as best as they possibly can. They were not happy about how the beginning of this started, and Pros does use the biotic grenade to get that healing back off. Wiglif does find Sword and Blade, swapping over to that Brig as well. And now it's up to Dimitri to try to hold it all together, but Canada slamming in with the Minefield. The rally gets invested by Fat Turtles, but Canada, the salute comes up to you, sir, as you clean up that back line, getting the 3K and locking down this objective with a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball can be very dangerous if left unguarded again. So you really got to stand on guard for Canada.
That is true. It seems that maple syrup is not the only thing that is produced there in the beautiful cold of Canada. It seems like deadly players come in the Overwatch fashion as well. But now Swornblade coming over on that Hoggy boy. Not worried at all about being able to get that healing in. Osito swapping over to the Reaper as well, but Hart able to click Swornblade's head, not able to get the follow-up they're looking for. Now Canada with the pile drive, and the cleanup grabs the double kill. And now there's only 10 seconds left on the clock. Somebody's got to get there, and they got to get there quick.
Arcana, this is a team that we've seen that it just seems like they're struggling to get anywhere. They will tick overtime, but it's just going to be a desperate attempt to get something, anything going. It's going to be all in vain, as that'll be the end, but it just seems like they're struggling with the fact that now they are in serious danger of not being in the lead for the first time since Lijian.
That is absolutely true. Alpha not losing their momentum during that halftime break locks it down once again. On objective, Bravo, they're just shy of that capture point. And now it's going to be up to Arcana Emperor to see if they can keep them at bay, keep them out in that wide open space. But right now, they are being punished in these streets. And I fear that if they allow them to get to the streets of Junkertown, it's going to be too little, too late. They're not going to be able to work with the space that they're utilizing. But interesting. We're seeing the bubblegum piggy coming out here, the Zarya hog, to see if they can deny that dive that's been coming out from Alpha.
My concern here is who's really going to stop the Widowmaker. Leave has shown that they can do very, very well on this Widowmaker, and especially with the double sniper, your DPS are going to get outraged. You hear it all the time. You hear Doomfist players, especially one in particular, rage about Widowmaker, but Doomfist moves very, very predictably, and you can really take advantage of that with a sniper like Widowmaker.
All right, looking to click heads right now. Fat Turtle's way back there. It ends up getting a pot against the shield as we see Swornblade looking to get that hook. Remember, Roadhog just recently got a little bit of a buff, getting a little bit extra damage into those clicks for that scrap cut. Andy comes in and Leave takes advantage of it, serving up that piggy on a platter, and that payload is going to push its way through the choke with ease.
Absolutely, that was just a roasted hog right there. And now Aceto Panda, another name we've been struggling with, going to come in. There goes Slatty Boy, and that's just going to end any sort of contest there. The really hard did so well to land that sleep and the anti-nade so that Swarmblade just could not do anything. And that bubble from Weapon just prevents Swarmblade from being any healing.
That's true, and that's actually what we're seeing across the board right now. The Hog might be able to heal themselves, but you've got Heart on that Ana, and that is indeed the heart of the team right now. They are locking it down. Riot does find Zosine in the end, but that death is going to be short-lived as they grab Objective Alpha and now have 5 minutes to send this payload into its resting spot.
And look at the ult charge. At this point, 4 ults online for Alpha compared to 3 going to be coming online shortly for going to be coming versus 3. And even then, the other 3 are so far from being active that they're not going to be coming online for a few more fights. This is scary here for Arcana.
All right, the sleep dart comes in, but the grab pops off huge. Ends up grabbing everyone except Dimitri, the one that probably should have caught that grab with the DM. Everyone's going to get sent back to spawn as we head into final fight territory.
I'm not sure if anyone's even going to be able to touch at this point. Oh, the Primal Rage from Weapon is just is so good. It won't. You will have a recontest from Arcana, but Slapboy going down is going to be an ill omen for the rest of this fight. Now, the threat of equalizing coming up so shortly now. For Alpha, they can see it, they can touch it, they can taste it, but Fat Turtles is determined. They can't ever see it coming.
Yeah, no matter how the feed is coming in, it seems like they might be able to put a bandage on this chaos, but Zosine is still alive, able to grab the Mega Health Pack and Osito in the back line, but it's not going to be enough. The 1v5 is just not going to happen for them, but Osito coming back with a Pulse Bomb of their own is going to be where it lands and who it gets that's really going to turn the tide of this next fight.
Both of these Tracers have those Pulse Bombs, and it's one of those abilities that can get an incredible amount of value, or it can just fly wide. There's the Pulse Bomb from Zosine, and they'll actually go down.
Yeah, gets sent into the air and not able to get the sick onto Slapboy, and the Coalescence invested from Pros already after one fight. Able to get some cleanup there onto Wiglif. Weapon does take Pros out of the fight in the end, and Osito in the back line back there. The cavalry is indeed not there anymore because Zosine is taking it out, and it looks like that might be enough for them to push in quickly, but again, the spawn advantage is in the side of Arcana Emperor.
And so is the ult, but it's pretty close. Again, it's gonna be the matter of who uses them the best. Swarmblade gets slept. Here comes Dimitri with the Diva Bomb. It gets another.
Oh, able to get Wiglif, and the Pulse does grab Leave in the back line. The Nano getting invested from Heart, but doesn't seem to find the value it's looking for, other than keeping their team alive for now. But Canada and Zosine are desperate to pull this back from the brink of defeat. Right now, Weapon coming out with the Primal Rage. It's a 3 versus 4 on the objective. Canada has the Graviton online. They're waiting for the DM to get used up, and there it is. They're able to grab Dimitri amidst the chaos. The Immortality keeps them up for now, and here comes the Meteor Strike from Slapboy, looking for anyone to be able to click with that fist. Canada ends up taking them out of the equation as they take Slapboy out. Fat Turtle's able to get that trade as the sleep comes in, and Osito falling incredibly low. Wiglif finds Fat Turtles there on the stairs, and I think it's too little, too late. They did their best to stop the bleeding, but Alpha ties up the series 2-2 here on Junkertown.
2-2, and that is incredible by Alpha, but I think Arcana, you really have to hand it to them. That was a monster hold, considering they started off with 5 minutes. You have to hand it to them for being able to hold for that long to final fight territory, and at that point, you think it would be over by 2-3 minutes, but they took it 4 minutes, almost into 5. That's the sign of a good team, that they're able to hold that point and keep winning when they really, really need to, when their backs are against the wall, over and over and over again. And now we have some important updates and some heartbreakers coming in from the Transcendence here.
Yeah, there are indeed some heartbreakers here, but we'll save those for last. One of those is going to be what we start off with. It's Dirt versus Ghostly Peppers. Dirt trying to rise from the dead, trying to make that Season 5 comeback, but Ghostly Peppers going to shut that down on Ilios, locking in their spot for their tier finals 4-1 after that Ilios map going 2-0 in favor of Ghostly Peppers. Battalion versus Heatwave. Heatwave gotta be pulling out that beep reverse sweep because Junkertown was captured by Battalion 4-3. And for you spicy water fans out there, I hate to say it because I love them so much, but Tempest is going home. Godhand made it past stage 1, and they are indeed here to stay. They will be going on to face Ghostly Peppers in the finals, ending Tempest's run 4-1 on Nepal after a 2-0 victory. Going back to the Harmony and Discord tiers. In Discord, we have Nya versus Soul Cyberpunk's Nya, showing that I am indeed going to cry today. I said no 4-0s, folks. I didn't want to see any 4-0s, but Soul Cyberpunks just were not able to claw their way back in, ends up allowing Ya to take the 4-0 on Route 66 with that first point lockout. Ragnarok versus Inferno Foxes. Inferno Foxes still up 2-1 as Ragnarok finally able to claw in King's Row 5-4. And in the Jetpack Cats versus Gannicus match, Gannicus able to show off those gains as they take victory on Havana 3-2. Taking the series 2-1, still in favor of the Jetpack Cat.
Yeah, that's a lot of surprising results. Like you said, the Nya versus Soul Cyberpunks is pretty demoralizing. And there's the Tappy Jack crying over there. Of course. You need a minute?
Okay, I'm good. All right.
As we head into this next match, some different strategies coming in with the Rush, Ryan Zarya coming out from Swarmblade and Dimitri, while we have a bit of a double bubble coming in from Weapon and O Canada with a lot of flanky DPS with that Echo Mercy combo. I'm looking for Osido Panda to really pull out some McCree skills and shut down Leave and Wiglaf.
That is one thing that you really need to lock down as we see the rotation coming out for Arcana Emperor. They're trying to move, or Arcana, moving into the side room. They end up swapping the rotation. They look like they were going to go Mega Room and drop down, but they're not going to allow that to happen. Zosine does find Osido in the back line, and now that the objective is captured and that percentage starting to climb, we see now Alpha descending upon them. They've got to be touching this objective, but the poke coming in is going to keep them alive for right now. Swornblade finds Zosine with the Fire Strike, and there's not going to be enough to hold it together. Slapboy sends Heart and O Canada back to the spawn. F in the chat for our folks in blue.
That was such patience by Arcana, able to wait until the point was just waiting for a little bit of positional mistakes from Alpha to rush in and do what Rush does best and rush in and take those points. They did it twice, even when Alpha had point control early, and then when they gave up point control, just waiting for that perfect time to come in.
The rotation trying to come in as the dupe comes in from Lee, but again, not able to find the value on the duplicate. That's the fourth shutdown out of that ultimate, and Slapboy is like, leave, let me show you how it's done, but it's not enough. Osido with the Deadeye does find Wiglaf. Can they be able to claw this back? It is a 3v4 as the Graviton comes in. It is a hair away, and Osido, click, click, boom, able to take it back with the help of Fat Turtles and Dimitri as they get ready for the final fight.
This is a new Arcana. This just feels like an anime battle in Dragon Ball Z with both teams pulling out new final forms to show us, each of them just evolving before our very eyes here.
It's coming up, and Zosine able to find the pulse bomb on the Slapboy, giving them some room to breathe without that Doomfist in the action, but Swornblade ends up sending Weapon off the side without that leap. The Graviton gets invested, but the immortality doesn't go down, and Pros shows that Zarya is not going to be a bully to them today. Leave and Zosine are trying to claw their way back in, but as DPS, there's only so much that you can do. After looking in the chat and seeing that Junkertown was not a great map for Arcana Emperor anyway, they're showing that they are not out of this series yet.
Yeah, it's just a sign of a good team. I don't know what else to say. It's a sign of a good team that we've seen from both of these teams, both from Alpha and from Arcana, that they can get beaten, that they can have two maps taken against them back to back and still come out so dominant like this is a testament to these players' mental and the ability that they have to put the previous map behind them and look forward. As we look into this map, you have Zosain on the Mei. This could be interesting as I want to see these walls being used. You're going to have early point presence for Arcana, or actually you're going to have early point presence pretty equal for both of these teams.
Yep, they're going to use the Symmetras to go ahead and poke their way in. Immortality already invested, but Zosain able to freeze and get the pick onto Sworn Blade. Slapboy trying to find some value as Osito coming in on the Reaper, able to tie it up by taking out the Reinhardt weapon going down, and Canada falls as well, but Slapboy gets traded out. But with the tanks down on one side, you know that Zarya gonna be melting on the other, and Arcana Emperor puts the crown back on their head as they lock down the shrine.
Pandas aren't known to be ferocious animals, but Osito is redefining that idea as just being a monster on this Reaper, putting so much pressure on the flank that you aren't able to focus on the main force of Arcana, and that's the power of a flank. You can't fully focus on one side. You have to focus on so many directions. Here comes a Shatter.
The Shatter to counter the Amp Matrix, and Osito in the back line with the Blossom grabs the double kill. They end up losing some life, but it's not enough to take these Emperors off the objective just yet.
Now you're starting to get a little scared. You've had some ult usage from Arcana, whereas Alpha, they haven't used a lot of their ults, so you're looking for a bit of you're looking a little one-sided for Alpha, and they need to press this advantage really quickly, and need to get rid of this Doomfist from their back line.
There it is! The melt comes in, and the beat isn't fast enough, and now we see the Blizzard invested from Zosain, but Osito says, "No, May Devil, back to the spawn with you! I'm not allowing it to happen today," and Weapon goes in swinging. They're not going to allow them to hold on to this objective any longer. The Amp gets invested from Heart, but they're all so low, and Slapboy goes in. It's a feeding frenzy for this Doomfist as they go ahead and clean up the objective and send Alpha once again into final fight territory if they can't turn this over.
The DPS of Arcana just seem like one of them is always popping off at a time. This amplification matrix is so smart from Pons to just keep them away from the point. No one's even going to be able to touch the Shatter. I'll make sure of it.
That is right, a celebratory Shatter as Riot gets a pick in that chaos at the end. Arcana able to pull it back, taking us 3-2 now in our series after their very decisive victory here on Nepal.
That was incredible turnaround from Arcana, now grabbing match point, getting to match point, I should say. They still have a 1 game left, and Alpha, I said they have to be quaking in their boots before, but they have got to be, there's got to be a small earthquake. You gotta measure it on the Fujita scale now, as that is, you have to be terrified. You've barely lost a map for the rest of the season, and now you're coming in. You are 1 map away from getting eliminated. You have to turn this around, and they have to start, in my opinion, by finding the weaknesses in Arcana Emperor's rush. They are there, and you need to take advantage of it. Arcana Emperor, they are so comfortable on this rush. We've seen it so much that when they play this rush, they can take the fight to Alpha and dominate.
That is true, but we are heading back to payload maps once again, which seem not to be in the favor of Arcana Emperor as we wait to see what Alpha decides for the next hybrid map. But yes, they are on the back foot now. Alpha being taken so close to defeat now. People been sleeping on Arcana Emperor so far, and we've got some more updates, some more tear jerkers, heartbreakers for you all there on the stream. The final match of the Transcendence tier other than the one that we are watching right and now. Heat Wave, your Cinderella story has lasted long enough and your prince is not coming today because Battalion locks it down on Lijiang Tower, similar to what we saw from Arcana Emperor 2-0 in favor of Battalion. Will take away the series 4-1. Going back into the Harmony tier, Firefight is currently up 3-1 after their halftime, taking Havana 3-2 against Valkyrie. Flashbacks tied up with Koala Kings after the half, 2-2, matching us move for move, it seems, on this stream as we see Junkertown taken by the Koala Kings 3-2, and Q for Quarantine is going to continue their lead and hold it 3-1 against Restless Shockwave in the Discord tier.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of heartbreakers. Battalion taking it over Heatwave is definitely good for Battalion there. Obvious statements are obvious, of course, but there's a lot coming in. Both of these tiers, all of these matches have been very, very close, as we've seen. So map scores being so close, a lot of 3-2s, a lot of 5-4s, and these maps being very, very close, and we've seen draws. And it's impressive to me that these teams are so close, and I'm enjoying hearing all about it.
Yeah, other than the NYA and Soul Cyberpunk's match rest in pieces, we are seeing a lot of barns being burnt down all over the Overwatch Tranquility community tonight, and especially here in the Transcendence tier, the feature match. Oh, something about Booth having the script ahead of time just seems to always work out in our favor because the barn burners are here for you to watch. They're not off stream. They're right here, right now. The action is in your face. So get your signature books, folks, because Alpha is taking us to Hollywood.
I feel like the Booth barn burner is so alliterative that you just can't you just can't skip it, as we see both teams playing Rush with a variation of Sniper and Flanker. Supports are really interesting with I completely thought Weapon was playing the Reinhardt. They're playing the double bubble again. So Alpha are playing this double bubble, playing the dive, whereas you have, I think Arcana really recognized that that this rush is what they're good on, so they're gonna try and force it no matter what they're on.
Well, the great thing about it this time around is, unlike Junkertown, unlike Numbani, there are not as many chokes here, or there are not as many wide open areas here on Hollywood. As you get into the objective, there's a lot of high ground potential, but that rush can indeed rush in and do a heck of a ton of damage. The rotation comes in, but the picks are on the side of Alpha as that dynamite locks in the bob for Zosine as a minute gets burnt off the clock.
You can tell how good these DPS are from Alpha. Both of them having these ultimates so fast, faster than even their supports, is just incredible and shows how well they're using the dynamite and the sticky bombs respectively.
That is true. Healing coming in after another huge dynamite, and Leave has that duplicate online, looking to trap them in the side room with the Reinhardt. It's timed out. Has the Shatter online. Will it be effective? Will they slam it down? There it is! The first ultimate of a series so far for Leave. You know, they gotta be celebrating right now. Finally able to get that duplicate off. And now 2 minutes off of that time bank, but Osido and Slapboy on this Hanzo McCree now are looking to dole out some damage, and they're gonna do them dirty.
You have both tank ults for Alpha. Here they come.
Gracious, great balls of fire! The 6-man grab, the fat anti-nade as they try to clean this up. The only one left near the objective right now is Ospino trying to get bubbled away, but it's not going to be enough for them to hold on. Fat Turtles trying to hold the remaining parts of the team together as the rotation still comes in. They still have 5 invested on this objective. The Immortality trying to hold it all down. Dragon Strike gets fed in. Dimitri and Slapboy cleaning it up as so back from the dead. Hit scan coming out for Dimitri as they take Leave out of the sky, and that's gonna be all she wrote for this objective, folks. They held onto it as long as they possibly could, but Arcana sunk in their teeth and they're taking objective Alpha.
That's just insane here from Arcana coming in, and now they almost catch out Wiglaf on this Mercy. This is trouble for Weapon here, caught behind enemy lines by a mile. Going to see him somehow in some way get out, and that was just so good from Arcana, knowing that they can still win it. It's still winnable, and a little bit of a fat figure shatter there from Swarmblade. Leave.
Bad positioning there for Pros, not able to get on the lift and couldn't get the jump to get in position with the rest of the team, and they pay for it dearly. They will get taken off of that high ground, but that's the thing about Hollywood, right? Is the rotations don't take very long to get to that high ground anymore with those lifts being on lock and speedy.
It is a change that was interesting, and now they're going to the double bubble. Swarmblade switching onto this Winston, and we've seen them struggle with the dive, but I don't know if I really like it, because we've seen them struggle. Now here comes Aceto, Weapon. Weapon is just in the back line. Here comes the Death Blossom.
Leave, finally able to breathe as the Echo, not getting punished enough, ends up grabbing Osito on that Reaper, grabs the Blossom, and clears the objective again in their spawn. And now only 2 minutes remain on the clock, and with this transition to the double bubble themselves, they got to make sure not to leave their backline vulnerable.
That's the point of this double bubble. It's the dive coming in. The Bob gets caught in the grab. The Bob got caught in the grab.
The Deadeye coming out. They gotta wait for the shield to go down, and the Bob goes down to the Kree. Slapboy looking to collect some heads, but Canada is on that high ground and that's the grab. They're gonna get it. They're gonna lock it down. They don't want to give them any chance of getting away. And with 1:15 remaining, that payload is stuck right in front of the saloon.
It's stuck right in front of the saloon, and Alpha are just able to sit on this high ground and fire onto Arcana as they come in. It's just a kill zone, and they can't find any purchase to get onto this high ground. They need to make these dives a lot more coordinated than they have been thus far, and that's why they've been struggling a lot with this double bubble composition. But now Hart is a little out of position from where they were. Not going to be able to see the Winston dive in. Here comes the Nano. The sleep.
Oh no! No, good. They slept Weapon, but Swornblade was tickling their backsides, and the sleep becomes ineffective. The healers get melted down, and the Primal Rage for both monkeys are going to be online here shortly. But with 15 seconds remaining, they got to make some big brain plays, and they got to happen now.
They do have the Primal Rage, but there's the Primal Rage on the side of Alpha, not to mention both DPS ultimates. Swarmblade just trying to dislodge them with the Primal Rage. Will find one pick, but will it be enough?
That doesn't look like it may be. And now the Kree coming out for Leave. Will we get the 3 for 3? The Deadeye comes out, does get utilized, but doesn't find the value it's looking for. But that payload is moving forward. They're not on it, but they clear it, and Leave, not getting punished once again, is going to allow them to lock down another objective Bravo here on Hollywood.
I'm sure it's the Contender skin. It must just be the Contender skin.
You know it.
You know all of their power. But really, though, that high ground control was so good from Alpha. They took advantage of the map geometry of Hollywood, the fact that they knew exactly where the members of Arcana were going to come from, and they just positioned themselves accordingly. Hart was on the high ground, and I don't think once was pressured. They had that dive onto the main force, but I think they really, the members of Arcana really needed to realize that they could find Hart, and it would be very, very difficult for the members of Alpha to come in and support. You would have Weapon come in, maybe Zosine, but half the rest of the team wouldn't be able to support and peel for Hart. And if you just jump on them, maybe you'd have a better chance of dislodging them off the high ground, taking down that group healing that Ana can provide.
That's absolutely true, but Osito now looking to take the reins here, swapping over to that Ash, but is not going to have the power boost that's been going between Zosine and Leave from Wiglif on that Mercy. Will it be enough for them to hold on? You gotta hope that Osito is ready to click some head.
If you're looking for the Arcana upset, you definitely want to hope that Osito is ready to click heads, because a Weapon is ready to make a shocking play here.
Already Leave sending in those sticky mines. The dynamite is huge as well. It looks like Arcana is going to continue to clean this up. Having that high ground advantage is just a field fest for this Doomfist as they go ahead and push back Alpha and shave some of that time bank off.
You can see that coordinated push when that first pick came through onto O Canada. Swarmblade and the rest of Arcana just jumped down and just decided it's time to go. Oh, Zosine.
Zosine a little out of position, gets their head clicked by that fist as Swarmblade finds Wiglif as well. The duplicate comes out from Leave. Oh, with the double slam! Not able to get the ultimate, but is the value enough? No! It's not enough. Swarmblade is sworn to hold this objective, but it's not going to be enough because Weapon takes him out with the fist. The Bob almost, or it sounded like that there was getting ready to be a Bob in there. Must have been a dynamite that I heard, but nevertheless, they're going to continue to hold this for now as we see the feed getting ready to come back in from Alpha.
You're gonna need to see the members of Arcana play very, very slowly and very methodical. They're going to need, they can't get pushed out like this by Weapon. Here comes that Graviton, but Pross is already down.
Grab is fat, but Pro's in the back line, and Leave takes down Dimitri, and now Weapon is punishing the returns from spawn. There's nothing that they can do. 2 minutes on the clock, and Swarmblade trying to see if they can tackle out Weapon will be unsuccessful. With 1 minute and 40 seconds on that clock, that objective is going to get unlocked, and it's going to be up to Arcana Emperor to try to hold on to this objective and stop them from getting a drink at the saloon.
We saw a long hold come out here from Alpha, but I wonder if it's going to be the same here coming out from Alpha, as they're the ones who made that hold. It's going to be a lot more difficult for them because they're playing in this death ball composition. They're just going to come in and slam onto them. Goodbye, Hart.
There it is, and the Meteor Strike comes in from Slapboy, able to punish Weapon in the Graviton Surge of O Canada. And we will see that clean up the 3K coming in for that Doomfist as they return to the high ground, ready to break it down once again.
Now, this is the critical fight here for Arcana. They don't have a lot of ultimates. They may have the Shatter come up, but you have the copy from Leave, and Leave has been popping off of those copies, as well as the name from Hart. There's a lot coming out here. You need to find some picks early.
Yep, they haven't been getting punished as much. The bubble comes out, but it doesn't save Hart, but Leave on the Doom. leaving anybody alone. Gonna go into the back line, and Zosign able to get some clicks as well as they make their way onto that high ground. They're taking that payload all the way to the bank. Now, can they lock it down in the jail?
Now this ult these ults have become even worse as this stall composition has to come out with the Wrecking Ball and the Diva. Going to take a little while for Swarmblade to get up to that fast speed, but Osito Panda, this could be big.
That's true. The Primal coming out in the side room. They gotta find anybody but the clicks are coming in. Osito on the low ground is clicking heads left, right, and center. That coach gun doesn't take you high enough to get the value and finish off Heart in the end, but the damage has been done. The bleeding has stopped for now as they lock down the point just shy of its capture.
The DPS of Arcana did not switch, so they're charging up their ults pretty fast. They're still charging up their ults, and they have them. They have that Bob, and they have that Dreamfist ult. That Bob is going to be so useful for stalling out the payload and waiting for this dive to come in, as that is the composition that we see the switch to from Arcana as Dimitri now getting that remake.
All right, Osito looking to make their way on that high ground and clear it out once the drop comes in. They're not even waiting for the drop. They're going to invest the bomb on the high ground, going to force them off it, and there's Slapboy waiting for Zosign, finds them in the saloon, and now they're in front of the bank. They're looking to grab some value and will be successful, but gets melted down by O Canada. The res comes in onto Zosign, and under a minute on the clock, the Coalescence grabs the double. The Bob gets invested. The boy is gonna get wasted as we see Dimitri grabbing Zosign in the end.
It's just gonna be a test to see if Dimitri's played Rainbow Six and can wiggle peak at that point, as now final fight territory for Alpha, and they need this to go well, but they're facing two ultimates, at least 3 soon from Arcana. This is gonna be difficult for them, but they have stuff, but that's not good. So Sam goes down early.
Not a good way to start things off when you only got 15 seconds on the clock, and leave! Coming in on that Doomfist goes into the Graviton, able to get the stick of Fat Turtles, the Meteor Strike coming in, but Pro's able to wait until the last moment and get away from the Meteor Strike, ends up getting taken out of the duplicate, but the damage may already be done because they are hemorrhaging right now. 3 meters remaining on the objective, and even though the spawn is right there, there's not enough for them to be able to keep this objective going. They get melted down, and we're headed to map 7. The barn is down, only smolders remain, and Alpha is walking now victorious so far as they tie up the series here on Hollywood.
That's what is happening here. We're 3-2-3 with both these teams, and now we're going down to the final map between these two teams. The one team we thought was just a dominant force coming in has shown themselves to be mortal, but are they going to die here on our final map, which is going to be an escort map?
That is true. There is as Gizmo and Bard and many others say, there is a possibility that they can end up getting a tie on this objective, but I gotta be honest with you folks, I don't think it's gonna happen on this map, but it is set up now for Arcana Emperor. They have the ability to be able to pick the map that's best gonna suit their playstyle from the map pool to be able to run that rush that they have been so desperately trying to make work on these payload maps. We've got another final update coming in. Reckless Shockwave being upset by the queue for quarantine. It looks like somebody has gotten their Fauci ouchie because they have powered through, taking down Reckless Shockwave 4-1 as they lock down Kings Row in a 2-1 finale. The only match I believe we are still waiting on is actually a couple matches we're still waiting on. The Flashbacks versus Koala Kings most recent update we got is that it was still 2-2 after they completed things on Junkertown, and Jetpack Cats versus Gannicus is most recently 3-1 after their completion on Lijiang Tower. They are fighting it out. And I gotta tell you, I think JPC is hungry for that flashback to Season 5. They got gypped out of that final spot, and they want to be able to take it away from flashbacks this time around.
That has to be true. JPC, they want to make up for that Season 5 performance. And now, getting into the really exciting match right now that we're in, Route 66 is going to be our final map.
I say it every time, folks. It's the best place to get your kicks, and the dirt tastes like mud. The coffee tastes like mud, folks. It is going to be Route 66 for our final map of the evening. Big Earls in full display right now as we get ready to see what these teams have. These maps have been working out in the favor for Alpha thus far. The payload maps have worked out in dividends for them, but it's gotta be here. Arcana have one final shot. Start playing the M&M, folks, because we are getting ready to lose ourselves right now. Will Arcana be able to lock it down, unseating the dominant Alpha from the Indigo side of the bracket in the Transcendence tier, or will Alpha walk away licking their wounds but still surviving here on Route 66?
5, 4, 3,
Alpha are gonna try for this close hold, living up to their name. They're going to try for a scary close hold. We'll have to see if it'll work as they just jump on top of. This Rushmere has been working well for Arcana so far, but now they're really committed. Alpha's really committed to it. There goes hard.
Yep, that's not a good way to start things off. The heart of your team down, and there goes Leave as well. Gonna leave them on that objective, and Slapboy finding Wiglif in the backline takes down the supports. It was a good try there, Alpha, but it looks like that's gonna be a quick swap over to that double bubble that has been paying them in dividends thus far.
I think...
Whoa, where's Zosine?
What? What did Zosine do? Did Zosine just get an amazing pick?
Yeah,
I think that small door at the bottom there, that could be devastating now, as Big Earls is always a good place to hold on Route 66 first point.
Payload's getting gassed up right now as it makes its way in front of the Earls, as Fat Turtles does find a Zosine amidst the chaos. Wiglif looking to try to get that res in, will be successful as Ocido obviously tired. It's a 7-map series, fam. Gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a nap, but you know who's not tired? It's Bros Riot, able to find Zosine once again after the res, and the trades continue to come in for either side. Oh, Canada is supercharged right now, but that payload is moving. It's still moving. Only 3 meters remain, and Oh, Canada is gonna come up huge, but the shatter shuts it down. No matter what, the graviton comes out. It doesn't matter that you're nanoed. It doesn't matter that you're supercharged. We're melting you. We're taking you out of here. We're not gonna let you lock us down again. And they're gonna take objective Alpha with 4:40 on the clock.
This is not a barn burner. This is razing the entire farm to the ground. This has been an incredible back and forth between these two teams, and it's still not done. And now the Ultimates favoring Arcana to keep this snowball going.
You gotta say they are indeed raising Cain right now as we see the bomb invested onto the objective. Deadeye coming out from Ocido, taking out the duplicate and quickly as it came in. Dimitri has the graviton on the line, but Zosine able to get that pick onto Ocido is gonna force them to pull back just a few moments, and now they're in a place where that double bubble is going to be able to be utilized a lot better with those dueling high grounds that they really need to rotate to take advantage of.
This is where we're going to see the best rush. We need to see the best rush that Arcana can play now. You have some old combos coming in soon. Here comes the graviton. It'll get 2, but will it be enough?
It's not enough to melt him down. Oh, Canada just gets supercharged instead. And now the Primal comes out from weapon as O Canada is saluting, saying that my country is going to lock it all down. You can't take down this frozen wasteland as they retake the objective and melt some more time off of that bank.
Absolutely, and now the alt bank for Alpha is ginormous. Leaf has that duplicate charge up so fast, but Wiglove gets caught out by Osido. This could be massive.
That is not a good way to start things off without your mercy. Those reses aren't there. The meteor strike comes in, and here comes the duplicate. Leave has to be able to turn this sucker around, and the Bob comes in. Leave does end up finding Slap Boy in the end, but will get melted down by Dimitri. But it's not enough for them to be able to take this objective back just yet.
With your spawns, though, you have so much of an advantage that they're just kind of able to take point control with Dimitri on the Zarya, just sitting there. And Weapon just is able to sit there and get some ult charge. But now you're looking at not a lot of ult charge for Alpha.
All right, we got the High Noon coming out. Slap Boy getting slapped there at the end, but it's going to pay it back in dividends, taking heart out of the fight as the res comes back in on to O Canada. But without your main heals in the fight, it's going to be really hard to hold it all together. And Zosign just goes down once again to that big old golden fist of fury. A minute 40 remains on the clock, and Arcana Emperor are looking to lock down objective Bravo and move their way into the bunker.
We'll have to see. Oh, Slap Boy gets taken down early.
They gotta try to stop bleeding. They gotta stop it here if they want to hold it on the outside. The res comes in. The mercy wiggle works for them, but they are not able to survive to keep it going. Leave able to get the melt onto Osido, but the damage is done. It's too little, too late. A minute 30 added back to the time bank as Fat Turtle sends Zosign bank with a hello, how's your father, and a punch.
These ults are interesting now because you have some going for Alpha and some going for Arcana, and I can't really tell you which one is going to be more impactful. It's going to be a matter of how they use it. These copies have been hit or miss, and they really need to hit now. If ever there was a time to get a big copy, now is it. Here comes the Bob.
Bob getting invested there as the duplicate comes out for Leave, trying to find Slap Eye, but Zosign finds them instead. Looks like that's going to go ahead and clean up. That duplicate. Can Leave get away? It looks like they will be successful for now, but that duplicate has been worn out of their welcome. Dimitri able to find the backline with the Graviton, but the Nano gets invested onto Weapon. Are they a weapon of mass destruction? No! Swornblade says no and nails them to the ground with that mighty hammer. And there goes Dimitri getting the speed boost in from Fat Turtles and is going to chase down Heart. Slapboy following up on his Zosign, and we're moving into final fight territory for Arcana Emperor.
This fight needs to be good, and these tank ults need to be good for Alpha. Here comes Osido trying to get something.
Exactly the pick they needed. Huge finds the double after the Deadeye, and they're able to clean up the objective, flicking away their wounds and able to put some salve on it for now. But there's only 15 seconds remaining for Arcana to bring it back.
Heart, that anti-nade is the definition of clutch. Just even being able to hit that double kill anti-nade. Now, one fight territory, you have some ults that you want, but you need to get this down fast. Slapboy has this meteor strike charging in so fast, but Leave has this pulse bomb ready and waiting. We'll just have to see. Here comes the Bob.
Sorry, my shock was about something else not going on right here. We'll talk about it after we are done. 10 seconds remain on the clock as the meteor strike goes in the back line. Osido finds Heart after the meteor strike, does the majority of the damage. The shatter pushing them away for now as O Canada is charged. trying to hold on. Overtime ticks away, and the objective is captured in a fury by Arcana Emperor.
Score 0-3.
Now the pressure is on for Alpha. They need to finish the map. If they can't finish the map, then they're done. They go home and they will not be champions this season. And Arcana will be the God Slayers. But we still got a round of Overwatch to play. And Weapon, O Canada's outside Leave, Heart Wiglif, all of these players we have seen pop off throughout this series, they're not done. Not by a long shot.
Talking about God Slayers, the Inferno Foxes, taking down the fabled Ragnarok, the ones that we thought were going to be unbeatable in the Discord tier. 4-1. These gods are headed to Valhalla. We hope to see you in season 7, folks. But the Inferno Foxes will be going on to face Nya in the finals of the Indigo Indigo bracket.
Ragnarok, it's the end of the world for the Vikings, but Inferno Foxes, they say it's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. They take down Ragnarok. That's just incredible. Inferno Foxes, they gotta be riding high after this. Everybody else, yeah? They gotta be looking out now as we get into this. Now coming in, they're gonna try and do the same thing, but Leave is on the Pharah. We haven't seen Leave on the Pharah yet, but we'll have to see. Oh, Canada gets charged.
All right, Canada gets taken down, and Dimitri will follow up onto Weapon as well. Leave trying to utilize that Pharah as best as possible. Now, you got to think about it, right? The Echo gets a little bit more value without the Pocket Mercy, right? It's great, but it's not absolutely necessary because Echo is a beast right now. And Slapboy in the back line, able to clip off Zosine. The wings are down, the calculators are out, and the cleanup continues to come in as they keep them locked without a meter moved on this payload in the first minute.
This is just disgusting from Arcana. This is a 3-3 series. You'd expect it to be 3-0 with how Arcana are playing. They're playing so aggressively, and they're still keeping them there. Here comes Leave with the barrage.
Ooh, the barrage comes out, creates some space, but the Deadeye finds them instead. Canada does end up finding Slapboy, so we might end up seeing them pull back just a moment, but it's not enough. The clicks keep coming in. Weapon, Wiglif, they're all falling down. It's London Bridge here on Route 66 as they've shaved a minute and a half off of the top of that bank.
Leave is now going to go on to the Echo, that trusty hero we've seen so much of them on. We'll have to see if it can dislodge Arcana from the spot that they've been so hooked up into. The Echo just going to go low. Weapon will fall without heart to heal them, getting taken down the back line, and oh no!
Ooh, Graviton Surge comes in as Pros grabs the double kill, and that's another cleanup. Oh my goodness, it's like Arcana Emperor have gotten their G Fuel here, folks. They are not going to allow Alpha to punish them anymore. They're not going to let that payload move a single meter, a millimeter. It's not going anywhere, but Zosine in the Bob, able to turn it around. Slapboy does send that Bob right off the side, though, and it looks like no matter what they were trying to do, they have just shaved down a majority of that bank, and that payload's gonna start making its way to Big Earl.
2.5 minutes gone, just evaporated from the side of Alpha. They've taken aggressive positions, but there's so many ultimates that the members of Arcana haven't used yet that I am terrified if I am a member of Alpha.
Ooh, the High Noon comes out, not able to find Leave and Wiglif in the high ground. Meteor Strike coming out from Slapboy, trying to find a weapon in the backline. Able to get them out of the jump, is forced to use the Primal to try to survive as the Amp Matrix gets invested on the objective. Oh, Canada coming in with a freaking huge grab. The immortality gets taken down, and the picks start coming in with a big old anti-nade on top of it all, but they're not gonna lay down and die yet. They've got Big Girls on luck. They got that mega health back in their favor, and Zosine and Dimitri lock up Zosine like a Chinese finger trap. Now the Nano gets invested as we see the res coming back in. Now we're seeing Osido on the back foot, not able to hold up against a raging shiny monkey, and that is going to be the payload pushing in overtime into Objective Alpha.
I think that I'm not sure if that's true. We might see. I think we're gonna see a recontest here from the members of. We're gonna see the recontest, but it's not gonna be enough. But there's both.
Graviton comes in, the duplicate comes in, the Bob, the duplicate onto the Doomfist, cleans it all up. They've got to invest everything that they have to be able to hold this together, but is it going to be enough for them? As it looks like Osido was trying to get hunted down there by Leave. They'll grab Objective Alpha, but that's a much lower time bank for them to work with in the street.
They only have to finish this map. If they finish with time, that's great. But if they finish at all, it doesn't matter how long overtime's been burning. They just need to finish, and they get the same time bank. But that is the need to. They need to finish. Finishing right now, not a guarantee, as you have a lot of ults, and there's that first pick coming out from Arcana. Oh no.
Not able to rotate fast enough. Alpha gets taken down by 2, but Hart does find Osido as the res comes in from Winglift. And now the Primal is pumping right now. Leave able to take down Pros, but Dimitri matches with a beam of their own to melt down Canada. The picks continue to be traded. Leave sent down really low, but this is a 1v3 on this objective. 2v3, 3v3 right now as the feed comes in from the spawn, but Dimitri refuses to die. Takes weapon out of the fight, but the payload goes back into Alpha's favor.
McCree.
Leave uses the duplicate on the McCree. That's really late. Maybe trying to give cover for this card to move, but they don't have 3 on it. So it might be a bit of a wasted ult from Leave. Like we said, a bit of hit or miss with the duplicates, but Zosine gets the pick anyway.
Speaking of hits, indeed, Osido going back to spawn, so it's going to be a 5v6 moving into this payload. Bad anti-nade as the Graviton gets sent on the high ground. Team kill rings out as the payload makes its way to the bunker and adds 1.5 minutes to the clock.
That was such a fast point B that now 2 minutes on the clock for the members of Alpha. The ults are in favor of Arcana right now, but they have the time to drain out, to take this dry fight, and to get up in the ult economy and take this card to the end here for Alpha. They need to get those ults going. Oh no.
The Shatter comes in, and we will see them lock down this objective with a Fury weapon a little too deep, and their team is gonna be punished for it as they now get that time bank shaved once again as the payload is locked here outside the entrance of the bunker.
This position is going to be a tough hole to break, especially you have this Reinhardt just sitting on the high ground ready and waiting to drop down, and a lot of ults on the side of Arcana, and now you're in the final victory to the weapon.
That Graviton could have been huge, but Dimitri falls a little too low and is gonna get taken down by the tickle gun of weapon. Osido getting forced off of that high ground, not out of it just yet, but the picks keep coming in. That time bank is really low, though. They're trying to stagger it out as much as they possibly can, but right now that payload is hemorrhaging oil, looking to get into its final resting spot here in the bunker.
This is gonna be an ult fiesta. It's gonna be up to Alpha to see if they can last this long. That's a huge grab. That's a huge grab. This could be
Huge grab. That eye comes in finds O Canada and Wiglip lead, looking to not leave this match in the past. Gets melted out of the duplicate, but it's melted down into scrap metal. 10 seconds remaining on the clock as Slapboy with that anti-nade not going to be able to get taken out just yet. The bomb gets invested on the point. They're less than 10 meters away. Oh, Canada trying to make their way back to the objective to keep time ticking away, but Alpha is going to get taken down. They're getting sent to the kennel, and Arcana Emperor takes it away 4-3.
The kings have been slain, the gods are dead, and Arcana stands above the rest. And they're the God Slayers here. They're keeping this going in on a play of the game to end it off as a sorry constellation prize for Alpha with an incredible performance from Arcana Empire, taking it out 4-3. What a game. What a game.
I am dripping sweat right now. I am looking around me, and the ashes that were Alpha are all over the ground. You had a great run, but I said it from the beginning. Alpha was going to meet their match in this playoffs. If it wasn't at the end, it was going to be sometime sooner, and Arcana Emperor has shown that to be the case. They're going to be going on to face Battalion in the Indigo finals of this bracket, but we may not be done yet, folks, because we have some No way! No way!
No way.
No way! Oh my goodness, we got some updates coming in the Harmony tier. You thought that gods were dead. There are gods dead in every stage tonight. We will see JPC still fighting out with Gannicus. Gannicus able to bring it back on Hollywood 3-2, but the Kings do reign in the Transcendence tier and in the Harmony tier. We will see Koala Kings taking their throne once again, showing us that the preseason was not a fluke. They are bringing it back and defeat the Flashbacks 4-2.
Oh my
wow.
goodness. This has been a night of many upsets thus far, and oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous.
Oh
absolutely ridiculous tonight. Wow. There is one match still going on that we know of, so if you can there, K-Wing, see if you can get an update from Shady about that JPC versus Gannicus match. If it's tied up, we might be able to bring you a little bit more action before we sign off for the evening, but in this moment, let's go ahead and start throwing it to player of the match. Folks, go ahead, start blowing up that chat because it has been absolutely huge tonight. I gotta give a beautiful shout out to Heart on Alpha, literally the heart of the team, not only saving their teammates from possible defeat time and time again, but the anti-nades on that Ana were absolutely insane. I am just racking my brain as to how many anti-nades ended up coming out from that Alpha Ana on the field that were 3-man, 4-man, 6-man antis right there. You just can't make this stuff up, folks. And I gotta say, for player of the match coming from Arcana Emperor, I think I have got to give it to... Oh, it's so hard, but it's the main tank diff, folks. It's Sworn Blade coming in. Not only did you see some incredible Rhine play coming out from that main tank, but on top of all of that, you saw the flex onto the Winston, you saw the flex onto the ball, being able to stall out, being able to get slams, being able to match round for round with O Canada on and O Canada and weapon on those dive heroes. Although they weren't successful, they indeed forced Alpha to really rethink their strategy time and time again. K-Wing, do you agree, or do you think someone else deserves the spotlight for this match?
I'm going to go with Slatboy personally. I really love the Doomfist plays, and I think it's a tough job to do. Of course, a little, not just the Doomfist, but those Doomfist plays were pretty massive often, and they found a lot of success, a lot of different places, and it's very hard to pick an MVP from this. It's so hard to pick an MVP from these both of these incredible rosters. I mean, Leave, you have O Canada, Weapon, Cosign, so incredible. Just all of these people, all of these teams, all of these players, so good at this game, and they were just able to put on a show tonight.
Absolutely. Castro is molding in the chat right now. Believed in the Alpha, believed in them to take this, but no, like I said, the dogs are in the kennel, but all over it, all over the feed. It's Slat Boy, the Slat Diff coming in, or Schlatt as it's spelled out in the chat, the Schlatt Diff, and some love for Dimitri as well on that off tank. You gotta give some love to your off tank folks. Between O Canada and Dimitri, they were both popping off neck and neck, and funny enough, when you saw one on the Zarya, it wasn't even telling whether or not they were going to be the ones to be able to hold it together. They were both able to switch to Diva so easily and be able to turn things over in their favor. And we got Bowsy in the chat saying Alpha lost to Arcana Emperor, Ragnarok lost to Infernal Foxes, Flashbacks lost to Koala Kings, and April 28th, 2021 will mark the day that the OW Tranquility Titans fell. But the Titans are not gone yet, folks. They were just the ones that we thought were going to be the ones making it to the grand finals. So it's going to be interesting to see who ends up coming out on top in the end. We're going to take a short break, see if we can get an update with the JPC versus Gannicus match. Don't go anywhere until we come back. We're hoping to bring you some more amazing Overwatch Tranquility action here in a few moments. Hey, welcome back, folks. Sorry about that long wait. We were trying to find a way to get some information because their 7th match was going on. They ended up heading to Junkertown for that 7th map, and you will know not all the kings are dead just yet because the Jetpack Cats continue to fly on. You do not the cat in the Harmony tier. They will be going on to face the Koala Kings in the Orem finals after taking Junkertown 4-3 in overtime on both sides. We were able to watch a little bit of the end of that match before we ended up bringing it back in here. But wow, we have got some amazing matches lined up, and there is only one that remains. It is Joey Esports versus Aphelion, another number 1 seed. Is this the season 7 curse or the season 6 curse? Are all the number 1s or a majority of the number 1s going to be dethroned before we head into the finals? The only way to find out is if you're here tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for everyone joining us here tonight. Special thank you to producer Booth doing an incredible job in such a barn burner of a match. Thank you, K-Wing, for being here. We've got a lot of great content coming up tomorrow night. Be sure to be here for that, as well as next week when the Iris podcast takes a look back and prepares for the tier finals as we get ready for those grand finals. Don't miss it. Hit that heart, punch that bell, subscribe if you can to support the community, and we will see you all tomorrow night.